HG here, screwing around with some Starfield. Now, I haven't really gotten into this game since launch. I was waiting for an HDR patch, like an official HDR patch, to work with Windows 10, but it doesn't. I did record a first video, except the audio was all fucked up. My voice kind of kept cutting in and out, so it got scrapped. I'm going to be doing this one here. My initial impressions of the game were immediately saw something that was carried over from Skyrim Special Edition, which is the temporal anti-aliasing. I don't know why, but in the infinite wisdom of Bethesda, they forced temporal anti-aliasing on the game. Well, there is a way to remove it, and I did remove it just because temporal anti-aliasing has some terrible, nasty effects in some games. This is one of them. When it first started out, everything was all washed out, which that wasn't TAA's problem. That was something else entirely. But I did notice that, let me get back to the main quest here. I'll just finish up my TAA explanation. In Skyrim Special Edition, if you were to stand perfectly still, you would notice that everything looks as it should. But if you move slightly, and you can see a little bit of this right here, right now, like take a look at these rocks off in the distance. Now watch when I turn my camera ever so slightly. You see kind of like a darkness jumping in and out. Well, with TAA on, I don't know if it works, something it does in conjunction with the shadow textures, but that effect was like that to the umpteenth degree. In Skyrim, you noticed it on grass, mostly grass textures, because looking at it dead on from a static position, the grass had shadows and all that, but you move it slightly, and then the shadow textures would pop in and pop out. It just, a horrible flickering effect. It was because of TAA. It's not the only game either. Elden Ring had it too, and I played that on PS5. It drove me fucking nuts. But I removed that, and of course there's the bullshit with the pronouns. I created my own character. Here, this dude, Eric Shun. And yeah, the whole pronoun business, I'm not into that. That's people thinking that they can change objective reality, and it's... A lot of people say, well, it's not such a big deal. Well, it is a big deal if you demand to be put on everything and you demand to be called by it. No, I'm not calling you by it. That's a way to force other people, force your ideology on other people. It's not subtle, it's forceful, it's arrogant. You're not going to make me submit to your ideological beliefs. Alright? No pronouns. So Bethesda did that, and shame on you, Bethesda. Should have known better. Bethesda is a bit of a capital of woke, though. But thus far, they've been pretty good. Couple things I've noticed other than those first two big glaring things, which was most of the first video. When you click on a mission here, normally if you click on a mission, it changes that to your active mission. This one you have to click on one of these things, whatever the first thing in order is. Then it'll change your active mission, which I was going to go talk to Sarah anyway. That's where I need to go. And then there's the star map. I found the star map to be a little confusing at first. Let me see if there's something in the options that I can change how the star map inversion behaves. No, there isn't. I also changed my bindings. If you're playing on a gamepad, I pretty much left everything with default except In old Bethesda games, I never really noticed how annoying this was until I started playing Skyrim on PC, and then I played Oblivion with a mouse and keyboard, where you're able to look around with the mouse and you can click on everything, just pick it up. And on console, you know, using a gamepad, your right thumbstick and your thumb, you're constantly switching back and forth to move the angle and then pick it up, move the angle, pick it up. So I thought, why not just remap the damn things so I can use one of my fingers to pick everything up. So I remapped it to activate, and although it definitely takes some getting used to, it is so much better than constantly having to move your thumb. I mean, unless I grow, you know, a third thumb, then not an issue. But until I become a mutant, that's something else. Where was that mission? Oh yeah, over here. I'll talk about the... No, it was down here. Yeah, I'm still getting used to the star map system. It's quite different from their old games. Go on map. Set course. In a way, it's kind of streamlined, but in another way, it's kind of confusing. It's hard to describe. People have complained about the game engine because they're apparently using an upgraded version of the same game engine that they have been using for God knows however long now, which I don't have a problem with. I don't. You can keep upgrading the same engines, keep putting new things into it, but some of the old features of that engine are still present, such as, like, when you compare it to games such as Witcher 3, which had a very large city in it, Novigrad. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter what that was, you know, a analog of in real life. I'm guessing St. Petersburg, but anyway. It had a very large city area, very large, especially for like PS4 era large cities. And you could walk in and out of pretty much any building within Novigrad, and there was no load scenes. But with Bethesda, if you're going to transition from inside to outside a building, you're going to go through a load screen. This was always a problem with Bethesda games, especially on the older platforms that still used hard drives. But we don't use hard drives anymore. Now we're using solid state drives. And I'm guessing if you're using an older solid state drive, that load time would be longer, but that transition took, let's see here, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, maybe 4 to 5 seconds. I'm guessing that it took longer that time because it had to load all this shit up. Which will bring me to something else. I don't know if you can see this. I'm bringing up my Xbox game bar here. Let me close the settings out. This thing is very clunky to use with a gamepad, but here. My system specs are as follows. I have... Thought my character was moving. I have a Ryzen 7 5800X. So it's not a weak CPU, it's not the most powerful CPU either, but it's definitely good enough for gaming. CPU performance right now is about 60 to 70%. That's the highest I've ever seen it in a game. Normally it's around like 20 to 30. That's usually where I see it, even in the most demanding games where my frame rate really dips. This game jacks it up to like 70% usage. My jaw dropped. My GPU's right now running at 100%. I'm also uploading videos right now, so... And I have a 7900 XTX. My VRAM is currently using 9.7 gigabytes of VRAM. That's not as much as I thought it would use. Other games, such as, I think Ghostwire Tokyo used up a good bit. The Witcher 3, the remastered, or not remastered, the improved version, enhanced edition, and Metro didn't use that much, but there were a couple games. I think the most I've ever seen was about 15 gigabytes of VRAM getting used up. This kind of shocked me also. I have 32 gigabytes of system RAM. It's using up half that. Oddly enough, my frame rate is showing right now. Normally that doesn't show. I don't know why. Problem with the Xbox Game Bar, I guess. Hardly anything Microsoft makes works.
I hope you are satisfied with the quarters available to you.
Oh, and something I forgot to say outside. Let me go back out there. Because this really annoyed me. And it was one of the first things I said. I'm just gonna show you a little bit more here. No HDR. Now, it doesn't look that bad now. I think the night scenes look noticeably better than the daytime scenes. But in the daytime scene that I previously saw last time I was in this giant city, everything looked very hazy. Sun was shining, but yet I couldn't make out a lot of the textures that were on these trees because there's no HDR. That's what HDR does. It creates a much wider color gamut for the game to use. I don't know if Bethesda just hasn't been able to put that into their engine yet. It also doesn't have ray tracing, but I don't really care if it has ray tracing or not. I played through games with ray tracing since my card's more than capable of it. I don't notice that big of a difference. But HDR, I do notice a huge difference with that. Especially if you're going to have really dark environments in a game. Now that that beginning rant's over, let's get into the game itself. How the fuck do I get up there? Yeah, I could just use my jetpack. Wake up, bitch! Sarah Morgan.
So, are you ready to get to work? Or was there something else?
She's kinda hot. I'm ready.
We're going to be doing some old-fashioned detective work. The artifacts are relatively inert once they're out of bedrock. That means people can pass them around, not even knowing what they are. I've been letting my contacts
like hookers?
be on the lookout for strange metal objects. Get back a lot of noise, usually. But a tip from the UC Vanguard sounds promising.
I'm sorry, I've been awake for a while. My eyes are like feeling kind of gunky. I have to admit I'm excited. This is my first mission.
Felt the same way when I started too. There's an electricity in the air when you know you're about to uncover something. But it's not just that. I want to
There's a
take
weird
this
pause in
opportunity to
between
see how
spoken
you
sentences.
handle yourself, and for you to learn more about us. I'm going to be sticking with you for this. We'll be traveling
I've read a
together
lot of
until we
criticisms
either
about
find
this
an
game, how
artifact
the
or
faces look
the
very
speed runs dry.
plastic or unreal, but compared to some of the other games I've played lately, and there were newer ones too, I don't think they did a bad job at all. A lot of people also complained about, what was it? The populated cities. How, like, the AI takes up most of the people in the cities and all that. I don't really see what the complaint is here, because you'll have, like, your normal characters that you can interact with populating part of the area, but the rest are just AI to make it look like you're actually in a city. They did the same thing with The Witcher 3. Nobody bitched about that.
We'll need to head to Mast. Check in with the Vanguard recruiting office where my contact works.
That's probably what takes up so much CPU
Whatever you
power.
were before, or whatever you do once you're out there, I don't care. So long as you don't bring UC security to our doorstep. Every member of Constellation is their own conscience. Understood? Good. Let's take a little stroll through New Atlantis, shall we?
I thought it was New Alexandria. I couldn't remember if it was that or Atlantis. She doesn't have a jetpack. Or a spacesuit or anything. I mean, I've got this getup on. She just jumps from up there, you know, like landing doesn't hurt her at all. Is she human?
I am at your service, Captain.
I don't remember if I took all my gear off him. I was using him as a mule. You coming, bitch?
We need to talk to John Tuala. Okay.
I wonder if you can get her as a companion. Well, yeah, they're imitating me. You sneak. Go extra sneaky. Something that they did change as compared to their previous games is in the lower left-hand side. You see the... Well, they changed their HUD altogether. The heads-up display is different. But the map... I really don't like it. I kind of preferred how it used to be, where it was just one big line across the top, and it would, well, unless we're talking about Fallout 76, and you were inside power armor and you could barely see the damn icons. But I kind of like how they had it in the older games, Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout 76 outside of power armor. This new one just, I mean, maybe I'll grow more fond of it later on because it's dual purpose. It also shows your stamina, or I mean H2O gauge, or yeah, H2O water. O2, your oxygen gauge. Can I jump off here without taking damage? This is the only spot where my frame rate has dipped so far. Is she gonna jump down too? Where'd she go? Half the fun of a lot of these Bethesda games is just fucking around with the environment. I'm sure she'll catch up at some point. Now let that recharge. You bitch. This thing's only like 3 feet deep. Yes, yes, let me up there. Why can I not get up there that way? I'm being defeated by gravity in a spacesuit. This is cruel. I was just on a moon of Jupiter. I was jumping all over the place. Now I can't even get up here. There we go.
The well's been having brownouts all the time. Mast finally sent someone down there, but...
Stop relying on unreliable energy sources like wind and solar. Get some goddamn nuclear power. Okay, now I want to save it because I want to try something here. IO-IO. Overwrite, yeah. Let's see if I can go on a killing spree. I hate you all. You're never gonna catch me. Excuse me, we have an active shooter in the area. He is about 6 foot tall and one giant douchebag. Can you kill the average citizen? Oh my god. Somebody call the army, they're going Grand Theft Auto. Never mind. I feel so wrong doing this, but it is a game, so I don't care. Now, can you actually kill... No. Okay, if it's one of the actual NPCs that you can interact with other than just a random civvy like this dude here, you can't kill them, they just get knocked out. I kind of miss that from the old Bethesda games. Okay, that was fun. Let's get back to what I was doing. I hope I loaded the right save file. Nope, I did not. I thought it looked a little weird. There we go. I just saw the IO-IO and thought, looks familiar. wrong, bitch. That is really bright. Okay, I don't know where, what's her face? Sarah went to. She's probably trying to circumnavigate her way around here. I don't know if the AI pathfinding is any good in this game. I remember in the old Bethesda... Okay, there she is. She just kind of popped out of nowhere. But the old Bethesda games like, Fallout 3... You saw some pretty wild pathfinding shit in those games. I remember playing both of those on PlayStation 3. It didn't really matter which platform you played it on, other than PC, Xbox 360, PS3, they were both buggy as hell. The PlayStation 3, Fallout New Vegas. Oh my god, was that game bad. I mean, it worked for a while, but once your save file got so big, it just crashed every 15 minutes.
Alright. Can't blame me for trying, right? I mean, I still haven't given up on getting Sarah to re-enlist.
It's a game we play. He asks, I say no.
Here's what I got for you two. Vanguard volunteer by the name of Moera.
I'm sure she likes to play all kinds of games like Hide the Sausage.
You know.
The Sol system? Which admiral did he upset to get that posting?
He's Martian, born and raised. Not like
Is she talking to me or him? Because it looks like she's talking to me while talking to him. I'm a little confused.
Matches that description Sarah gave me.
He kind of looks like he's from a... What are those people called? The Maori tribes? Maori tribes or something like that?
Soul system is
Fierce warriors that make things with shark teeth and obsidian. They're also cannibals.
You mean hitting the bars, don't you, John?
Hey, nothing wrong with a little refresh between patrols.
They're Pacific Islanders, like The Rock. A lot of people say The Rock's black. I'm like, no, he's not. He's from the Pacific Islands.
Anything for Sarah. UC always takes care of its own. Even the prodigal children.
A lot of people try to say that Mariah Carey's black. I'm like, no, he's not.
You just come talk to
That
me when
bitch
you're
is
ready.
white.
UC is a good friend to have.
Just like Meghan Markle. Okay, we talked to your contact. The Vanguard already joined something. Cydonia. Where the fuck is Cydonia? Oh, okay, yeah. That was where I also joined. No, that's where I got sent after I had contraband on my ship. I don't know where it came from. But they ended up making me, turn me into a dirty rat. Infiltrating raider scum gangs.
I wonder if the Broken Spear is still open. It's the only decent place in town to grab a drink.
Poor quality air. Is that her? Why does her face look so freaking round? I mean, someone... Mars.
Building Cydonia completely underground.
You know, I can't...
Way of keeping the city shielded from the harsh Martian landscape.
Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to say something here. I don't know if you've done this in your game or not, but this is vital for making the game look look. I've been awake for a while, don't mind me. Making the game look not washed out. Brightness and contrast. I haven't seen this in a game in a very long time. Like, I'm talking like OG 360 era. The Xbox that came out in 2001. I have not seen a contrast brightness adjuster since then. Especially, well, you see it in games with HDR, but this doesn't have HDR. But this was vital for making the game look not washed out. You have to adjust those two settings like perfectly. Also, I normally don't use upscaling, but putting on FSR2 and keeping the resolution somewhere around there, it doesn't really do anything to the frame rate, but it does help get some of the, that weird looking shimmer off of shit. Disabling TAA, as I said, also helps too, but now getting back on the Mars thing. I can't look at an environment like this and not think, my god, what would it be like if we got a Red Faction Guerrilla Part 2? Well, it ain't gonna be Volition making it. Their little go woke with Saints Row shit. If you haven't seen my review, if I remember, I'll put the link to that video in my description. Their little adventure with Saints Row broke them. They don't exist anymore. I hate to say it, but they earned it. They've been on a pretty sharp decline ever since the PlayStation 4, though. Agents of Mayhem, I might do a How Bad Is It of that game at some point.
Used to think I was Vanguard material.
But they made that was the only thing they made for the PS4, and then PS5, they made the Saints Row, now they're gone. For the PS3, though, and Xbox 360, they made a shit ton of games. Saints Row 1, 2, 3, 4, Gat Out of Hell, Red Faction Guerrilla, Red Faction Armageddon, and maybe one or two other games I didn't play. But I played all them. Guerrilla is one of my favorite games ever.
Not everyone needs to come to me with their problems. I ain't a psychiatrist.
I'm looking for a Vanguard named Mara.
You ain't been around. Went off on patrol.
Oh, it's a he?
Incense. We're starting to think it might be time to pour one out to the blackest sea.
What the fuck is that? Oh, there we go. Wait, what's the blackest sea?
You got another word for it?
He means outer space.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense.
Believe me, I've heard it.
I would just call it the
About
dark
round
nothing.
3 or 4 was all he would talk about. He's got a voice that carries.
There is some sort of chatter, at least from
To
the
help out a fellow
scientific community, that I've seen trying to hypothesize that there's some sort of a matter that they can't really detect in between the objects
He has
that
a
we
tab,
can
and
see
you don't know if
within
he's coming back.
our metaphysical realm.
It's a lot of
Is
okay?
not really
I'll let it
dark
slide
matter,
for
but
a
it's
long time
something
because he's a regular.
the way they explained it kind of made it sound
Oh,
like
money.
they think there's some
No
sort of like a
problems.
glue or a substance
What do you
out there that's in between everything. Although the evidence they gave supporting this theory was shit, to say the least.
Come on. Life on Sidonia ain't hard enough. You gonna guilt trip me?
I've only ever passed a couple of these persuasion things. What matters to you more, the money or Mara's life?
Yeah. I get your point.
You better. I want you to imagine him out there, alone. And here you are, holding out for cash.
Don't try to guilt trip me, okay?
He has no shame. We could be the only ones who could find him.
Maybe.
Critical success. It's not just a success, it's...
Just trying to earn a living here. Last time he
You
was
were
everywhere,
critically
yelling about the
successful.
Lady of Love, singing songs, all that kind of thing.
Venus? That's only one planet. Hardly an entire patrol.
I've got to go to Venus. I want to see how they made that one up. I imagine Venus looking like a torched
We'll
hellscape.
make do.
I think at one point NASA might have sent some type of a rover, or not a rover, a probe into Venus, but its temperature I think is like 800 degrees Celsius. The atmospheric gravity is... It's been a long time since I looked any of this up. I mean, like, well over 10 years. I think it's 8 times of what's on Earth. Gravity is just crushing on that planet. And it's filled with all sorts of toxic gases, not to mention horrible storms. That sounds like a great place to send all the traders of the different nations. Send them to Venus. Might have to explore Mars at some point. How much is... I'm so used to pressing B to bring up that map. I press down, it goes up. I press up, it goes down. I do use inverted controls, but I'm not used to it on a layout like this. Mars Mech Factory. It's Uranus. Temperature, deep freeze. Okay, let's just start with the sun. Yeah, not landing on that. I can see why. Mercury. Barren. Temperature, Inferno. Doesn't get as hot as Venus because it doesn't have an atmosphere, but I understand the side of Mercury facing the sun melts on a daily basis. Go to Venus. Oh, I'm actually going to Venus. I might melt off my penis. Temperature, Inferno. Atmosphere. Extreme carbon dioxide. Gravity 0.9 G's. Okay, yeah. For a second it threw me off. Yeah, gravity, atmospheric pressure, not the same thing. Where's Earth? Temperature, cold. But what about global warming? Global warming's horse shit. Climate change is real, but it's not because of us. This thing right here, that gigantic thing that I'm moving my cursor over, that is what controls the climate. And I don't mean by like a 30% margin. I mean like 70%. It's all controlled by the sun. The rest of it, greenhouse gases, if we're going to talk about greenhouse gases and carbon and shit, you need to look up the most abundant greenhouse gas. You know what it is? Water vapor. This CO2, plants eat it. We learned that in biology. If they really wanted to make the temperature and the extreme weather patterns less impactful to the earth, you would start greening the deserts. It's not like we can't do that. China does it. The United States used to do it. Look at all the shit we did in California. And now they're just letting all that crap go. Really gotta start asking yourself why, and if you want to go down the rabbit hole, I know lots of places for you to get information. But if I wanted to do an episode on that, it would take a long time.
Right away, or do you need a little bit of time?
Right away, bitch.
Hello, what do we have here?
I can't move my ship.
Ships. Varun Zealots. You ever run into one? Completely devoted to a deity they call the Great Serpent. The devourer of the unbelievers. I'll let you
Great
get
serpent.
if they spot us.
Say Satanism without saying Satanism. I wonder if those ships that they're talking about are to the lower right of the 100 BAL. BAL. BAL.
No other ship readings in the area. And I doubt they'd be so calm if a Vanguard had flown by recently.
Because that thing that's just going in clockwise circles right now, like, I don't know if that's a ship or what. It kind of looks like an asteroid to me.
No, but I think I see something else that might. There's a UC satellite beacon hovering distressingly close to those Faroon ships.
Okay, that could be that
If we
satellite.
get close enough to it, we could download its logs and figure out where our Vanguard was heading to next. Exactly. Minimal ship power. Go slow. We grab the data on that satellite and jump away.
Slow is boring. Just in case.
Great serpent, bless this communion that we may walk in Janan Verun's footsteps.
Okay, I thought that's where the ships were. I couldn't really tell though. You think they'll notice if I start blowing all these rocks up?
That he learned the truth of the shrouding.
Why is it... Okay, yeah, that's smart, maybe. For some reason, I'm not alerting them. I don't get it, but I don't care. This is a big rock that does not want to blow up. Yeah. Look at that shit. You can drive right through those big chunks that don't matter.
Face your suffering.
Alright, I guess I'm fighting. I kind of wanted to anyway. Where's my lock on?
The shrouding is here.
You get back here, you punk bitch. I can't find the one I was shooting at. I don't know why my missiles aren't locking on. Well, that's the end of my journey. Okay, I'm within a kilometer, and I might be able to get to it this time. They've detected me like every single time. And every time I fought them, they just killed me. No contest. I didn't stand a chance.
To all UC affiliated ships, I'm heading to the Nova Galactic Storeyard orbiting Earth's moon. Yeah, I know. The whole place is decommissioned. And I need parts for emergency repairs. Hopefully it hasn't been picked clean yet.
Oh, that's not good. Earth and everything around it was abandoned a long time ago. and the old star yards are crawling with spacers and other scavengers.
Why was Earth abandoned? Oh, great. I can't wait till I get to that story. I'm sure it's gonna be a bunch of predictive programming bullshit. Luna? I think that's the moon.
There it is. Nova Galactic Star Yard, still orbiting Earth's moon. This is where the first interstellar ships were made. People still use their modules, even though their star yard hasn't been running in forever.
Let's find out.
It's all ancient history now, but the Earth lost its atmosphere. It started sputtering out into space. Humanity had about 50 years to evacuate the planet. That's kind of how the United Colonies government started, managing the exodus.
Why is it in all these futuristic games, it doesn't matter if it's this, Mass Effect, anything set in the future, it's always one world government. Humanity always ends up getting the one world government. Why is that? I mean, it's never several hundred or several thousand years into the future, and it's still a bunch of nation states that know it's one world government all the time. Now, see, intelligence agencies are very heavily involved in video gaming. Why? Because as someone who I talked to on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, pointed out recently, it's because it's a big industry and it reaches a lot of people. For example, Hollywood, $100 billion. Music, $50 billion. Games, in the video game industry, $280 billion. Not to mention, you get all the Discord chats and all that stuff. That's where the intelligence agencies wanted to get involved, because that was kind of like a last bastion of free speech where people could just talk without being monitored. Well, that ended.
Keep your weapons ready.
Because a lot of the people within the gaming community that ran a lot of these development companies, like it had the head of, I don't know which developer it was, one of the three ones that works on Call of Duty, or someone within Activision. They were talking about how Trump got elected in 2016. A lot of the Discord chats had something to do with that, and they said, no, that can't ever happen again. Now, this person was talking to the Atlantic Council. The Atlantic Council is a big part of NATO. So this was a military talk they were having with whoever that main dude from Call of Duty was, saying that, no, we have to get into these Discord channels and we have to monitor the online chat of these people using our game in our channels. We have to monitor it closely. That's when all the censorship shit started kicking in about 2 years ago. It seems like some of that has been dialed back, but when COVID hit and all the censorship started happening, oh my god. I'd never seen anything that bad in my life. Yeah, Trump got elected. Yeah, that's because people in America are sick of the fucking uniparty. It doesn't matter who gets in, Democrat, Republican, they all end up bound to the same people. Trump was actually taking the fight to them. And you can see what's happened since then. They've done everything in their power to destroy him. Outboard.
Ready to lift off when you are, Captain. Two steps in, and we're already looking at a corpse.
I couldn't tell if they were dead or not.
It's not Vanguard.
I mean, I thought, you know, that could be blood, or
We're scavenging around here, and someone else came in and said hello.
maybe he,
The spacer crew.
I don't know, maybe someone threw shit at him.
And shoot anyone who gets
Maybe
in their
a
way.
shit-throwing monkey came
They're less
along.
organized than the Crimson Fleet.
Space monkeys.
Just countless desperate groups scavenging and killing to survive.
Okay, I'm recording. I'm not gonna item whore everything here. Forgot. Don't have any, picks. That oxygen tank blow up? It does. That was pretty fucking cool. Sorry, I just blew up your space station. Watch there be like one Russian living here. Blech. What are you doing on my space station? The only people I've seen for the last couple 100 years have been mutated space monkey. Someone's here. Hear that shoesteen? Hey look, this bread looks like it's been lying around for decades. Let's eat it. Empty beer bottle. Of course the beer would be empty. I think I can use that coffee bag. Boom! Pop. Orange. It kind of looks like, what's the name of that shit? You stick the straw on the top. I used to drink it all the time when I went on vacation as a kid. Oh, it's right at the tip of my tongue. God, I can't think of it. I'll think of it. Keep thinking Sunny Delight, but that's not it. Capri Sun. Yeah, Capri Sun. That shit. I used to love drinking that shit, but my parents wouldn't ever buy that much of it because apparently it was a lot more expensive than other things. We only ever got it on vacation.
Well, I suppose they're not going to need it anymore.
Who's doing all the shoesting? Spacers. Have mine, bitch. This weapon's like a P90. What is a spacer? Like a raider from space? These things have like some of the mildest weapon recoil ever. But you know, double barrel shotguns never go out of style. You died ass up. At least I'm not darting around the screen like one of those fucking lights in the finals. God, I hate them. I love it when they run in front of my flamethrower and I just scorch their asses. It's so satisfying. Seeing a lot more blips.
Running away, eh?
Did she just quote Monty Python? I think she did. I always do that when I'm recording. Running away, eh? The Black Knight. What are you gonna do? Bleed on me? I'll bite your legs off. But you ain't got no... Wait, what is it? Oh, it's been so long since I seen that movie. He cuts both his arms off and he's like, how about you? Like, what are you gonna do? Bleed on me? I'm invincible. You're a loony. You stupid bastard. You've got no arms left. Yes, I have. Look! But a flesh wound. He ran away. I wonder how long that poison lingers there. There's shit in my inventory that would help right about now. Frag grenades are good. I don't have enough of them. Why would... That might help. I don't know. Let's just take everything. He's a huge druggie. I wonder if any of this is addictive. Wait a minute. They just had beer in a juice box pack? That's all kinds of wrong. Might have to turn off the auto aim. Quite a pain when you're aiming near someone and you want to shoot one of those explosive barrels and you just can't get the aim over it. Swiss cheese, you are. He died an explosive death. Oh, there you are. What the hell happened to him? His ankles blow up? Stop jumping around, you freaking homo. Where are these last two dudes at? There you are.
this whole star yard is overrun. I've patched up my ship, and I'm heading to Neptune. Going to put in another request to get the fleet out here to deal with these spacers. But until then, if any of you thugs are listening, I'm the damn ghost stealing your stuff in the night. Clear out while you have the chance.
Boating.
This is Vanguard Moira. Sorry if I had to reclaim some UC property, but this whole star yard is overrun. I've patched up my ship, and I'm heading to Neptune.
Alright, I think I'll cut this episode off right here.
Until then, if any of you thugs are listening,